It's a really calm day on the spinning sphere pair. It's been an interesting week. Had 3 days. Locking horns with good old Max Igan, Australia's truth teller. Max. I call him a gatekeeper these days because he can't decide anything in regards to the nature of the shape of the planet. He seems to believe it's a globe because of his experiment with weights and a theodolite, despite what all of the people seeking curvature have found. Hey, there is no curvature. Shush, shush, puppy. Hey, Alfonso. Shush. It's Alfonso. ¿Cómo estás, amigo? Shush.
¿Cómo estás?
Bien. ¿Tú?
Bien, bien.
Provecho.
Igual. ¿Estás tomando sol?
Wow, smells bueno.
Más bueno. ¿No fumas?
No para mí hoy, gracias. Buena suerte.
Gracias.
Muy bonita, muy claro.
Muy buen día hoy.
Sí.
Para nadar todo.
Mucha distancia, claro.
Yo voy lejos, a ver.
Ajá. Bueno,
Nos vemos, Elissa.
adiós. It's been a great time having a little challenge with Max, having a little discussion, and seeing him melt down was the most interesting, calling me a bitch and a disinformation artist, and muddying the waters of and promoting disunity in the truth community, when all I'm doing is asking that we look at the people who won't look at what's really going on. Max keeps saying we don't have the freedom to know yet if the earth is flat or round. We don't have the freedom yet to ask such questions. We need to wait until we're free. Meanwhile, he's paying taxes, probably registering his vehicles, probably paying for his license, as we all have to in this system, if we choose not to fight, not to take on our true lawful rights. So it was very interesting to watch none of Joy Camp's supporters capable of supporting another person's alternate point of view. Everybody's most attacked or didn't vocally support my freedom of speech. Benny did well not to censor me or block me, because I know he wanted to, but I agree with him that that's not going to get us anywhere. I'm not being rude, I'm not being piggish, I'm just saying that Max is acting like a gatekeeper, so I'm going to assume that's what his supporters are encouraging him to do. Now, his supporters might just be people around the world who love to seek truth and love the work that he's done, the documentaries he's made. Or his supporters could be high-up Freemasons, who we don't know who his supporters are. His supporters could be aspects of the government or the international shadow government. We don't know who pays these people to live for years and years and years off donations. So Max can't decide one way or the other, he says. Is it a globe or is it If he can't decide, that means that he's been put off thinking completely that it's a globe. That means he must have some questions about the validity of the globe. I'm just wondering if he has the ability to question all of the settled science for the last 500 years, since Copernicus, since Pythagoras. Has he got the wherewithal to consider that that could all have been to mislead us, to prep us and bring us in for Darwin and the theory of evolution. It's all mind control. And once we see the extent of the mind control, that they are creating the ISS illusion to make us think there's an international space station. They won't send anything to Mars, but they'll send us pictures of Ireland or Egypt or other places and call them Mars, and we give them $19 billion a year to lie to us. But Max doesn't really mention that too much. He's really caught up in the fear of what's about to happen, the system closing in on us. The system's only going to collapse on people who are dependent on the system, people who are getting the dole or the pension or their military payments, or they're the people who are going to suffer when the system collapses. And they say, Max says he wants the system to collapse. Can't happen fast enough. But he won't acknowledge the biggest lie to all of humanity in the history of, in the foreseeable history of time. I don't get it. I don't get why he can't see it. I can see why others would choose to steer off the subject and choose to focus instead on the predictive programming of the Walmart prisons, the government's coming down, the false flags that take our guns away. That's all good stuff to focus on. But as soon as you let your mind go and do some natural science experiments, you can very quickly prove to yourself the Earth is not a globe. And many, many millions of people around the world have and are and will continue to. So this is only going one direction. One day, Max is going to have to acknowledge these natural science facts. I accept if he doesn't want to be told by me or a whole lot of other people, because he doesn't really like to be told much at all, it seems. I'm not telling anyone anything anyway, I'm just asking questions.